Hey, welcome back everybody to another production meeting. What's up, party people? How's it going?
Is everyone ready for awesome Thanksgiving tomorrow?
Yay! Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man, I'm totally ready to sit around and eat food. I mean, that's different from what I'm doing because I'll be with people, but I'm ready to do it.
Wait, it's going to be with people, man. You're supposed to socially distance. You should be having Thanksgiving by yourself.
It's less than 25 people, and we're all going to be in our own corner of the house.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Well,
Yeah,
we're just doing the twosome here, man. I'm actually going to try to cook. So
Whoa.
this is going to be probably a horrible Thanksgiving for me, but
I need you to make that 10-pound Reese's cake and finally give me a slice. This man has told me about this for like 3 years, and I've never had a slice.
man, I would, but I am not in charge of desserts this year. That's the one thing that I told Jeannie she was doing, was making the dessert. So sorry, man.
You're like, I'm going to bring the DiGiorno pizza.
Plus, I got so many other. So I've got so many other things to make. That cake literally took all evening. It took about 4 hours to make. So I'm good.
Jeez. Well, I told Clint that Ashley's making these like little dessert strawberry things where she's going to attach marshmallows and then little pretzel sticks to make it look like a turkey, and then cover them with chocolate to make them look like a Thanksgiving turkey, you know, where the pretzels are the drumsticks. So I was like, okay. She's actually doing that right now, so we'll see how that turns out.
Well, good luck to Ashley. All right. Did you guys watch anything this week other than the stuff?
No, I just watched Run. I also watched Walk. I also watched Jog.
I was like,
just kidding.
I was like, there's a joke set up here.
I didn't really. I mean, I feel like I watched other things. I didn't keep a list this week, and nothing new. I mean, I can tell you today we watched the Thanksgiving classic Titanic because it was on TV, and we were just like, we're just gonna watch this. So we ended up watching Titanic, and then we followed it up with watching another classic ship sinking adventure, the Poseidon. Not the Poseidon Adventure, just Poseidon. So it was absolutely super awful. But yeah, that was my day. So yeah, but nothing else. Just Run. I've been playing a lot of Persona, and I've picked up the cash grab game. I believe it's called Genshin Impact, and been playing that a little bit. I'm probably gonna stop, but that's what I've been doing.
Awesome.
Let's see. What did I do? Other than the assigned homework, I did. Well, technically, this is also still assigned homework because I participated in Ryan's project of doing the Thanksgiving type of movie that's perfect for Thanksgiving. Well, it's not a Thanksgiving movie, but it's a good one to watch on Thanksgiving. And I chose Prisoner of Azkaban. Why? Go read my article. Don't be lazy. Go read my article. But in preparation for writing said article, I watched the first 3 Harry Potters in utter delight.
I feel like at that point, sorry to cut you off, but we should do like one of those things where everyone does, and you can check it out here at this link below.
I know, add the little, I got to learn how to do that. But that's what I did other than Run and a little bit of Animaniacs this week.
Yeah. Ryan?
Yep.
I am also in preparation because I have not written my ultimate Thanksgiving pitch yet. It's only due tomorrow. I rewatched Terrence Malick's New World, and then I immediately bought the extended cut because I want to watch a slightly better version of that movie. So you can link that somewhere.
You watched New World.
Probably not.
Ryan, you were supposed to watch Waterworld. That's the best Thanksgiving movie.
I think if you pitched the best movie set on the ocean starring Kevin Costner, I would dare say Waterworld's probably not the best one of those movies.
I'm gonna be like, it's Field of Dreams. That's my best movie with him on a boat, and he's not even in it. Precisely.
You get one of those facts right.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
He's in it, but he's not in a boat. That's what
Kevin
I meant to say.
Costner, he is in the movie, but I don't think it takes place near water.
That's where I was going. I'm like, obviously he's in the movie, but he's not in a boat. He's in a cornfield.
Cornfield,
Throwing
ocean,
baseballs.
same thing.
Yeah. An
Yeah.
ocean of cornfield.
See, in our attempt to do some catching up for 2020, I finally watched *To Five Bloods*, which was very good. Spike Lee's editing and Terrence Malick's editing drove me nuts back to back. And then we watched. Oh, what else we watched? Oh, yeah, we watched the remake of *The Secret Garden* that came out this year, and I immediately fell asleep. No regrets.
That means it's gonna still remain a secret.
It
Sorry,
is.
Ryan.
It is just riveting.
Is it? Wow.
And then I did some with homework. I started one of my assignments and didn't like it, and according to my teachers, that's okay. I don't know how true that is. We'll find out how that goes as this week on Ryan Ruins Clint's Childhood.
Yeah, right.
Did anybody else watch? Matt, did you watch Animaniacs?
I watched. I'm not gonna sit there and I binged the 12 episodes of Animaniacs. Even that would be too much for me, man. I watched the episode that you texted us, and I was like, oh, I wonder why. And then halfway through, I'm like, that's why. That joke right there. That one joke.
Man, no spoilers because I wasn't actually able to watch it. I watched the first 2 episodes and then I totally forgot about that.
You'll know. You will know.
You'll know.
As soon as that joke pops up. I was like, is this episode going to be about podcasts? Is it going to be about like movie and stuff? And I'm like, no. And then the joke happened. I'm like, really, man? That's the one reason. And I laughed. I did laugh. But yeah, I watched like 3 episodes of it. I mean, it's clever. I don't think it took a step back at all. In fact, I think they're going in the right direction. I'm just not watching all those back to back is just a little too much for me. And apparently watching one was just too much for Ryan.
Yeah, right.
Not my thing.
It's all right, Ryan. It's okay. So
it was too lowbrow for Ryan, apparently.
I just finished Lovecraft, and I was like, let me go from the season finale of Lovecraft right into the first episode of Animaniacs.
Wow.
Didn't work.
Yeah. Well, while you guys were doing that, I seriously, like, I had Friday off, and I had a big bowl of cereal, and I sat at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not gonna lie, I binge watched all 13 episodes. And it brought back very good memories. So I'm with you, Matt. Like I think it didn't really change from the originals. They just updated a lot of it. They left out like a lot of the characters, because this one is just the 3 Warner Brothers and then, or the Animaniacs and then Pinky and the Brain. So like the original had like 7 or 8 more characters.
Yeah, I know they. I was assuming when I was watching. Of course, I've only seen 3 episodes that they were going to introduce more or new side characters to do adventures with, and I think there was something at the end of that one that you sent us, like episode 7, that was new. But I don't know if there were any new characters or new segments introduced for the rest of the season.
Not really. Looking back on it and being a little bit more critical, I think that was the one detriment to this new reboot, because it's like when you think of the Animaniacs, you think of all these characters and not just those ones. And I think it broke it up a lot, where like these ones are just like the 3 of them and then Pinky and the Brain. And so it does take a lot. So, and then I played Ghost of Tsushima still. I'm still stuck on that.
God bless you.
I'm trying. All right. Are you guys ready for some news? I don't know if this is breaking. I don't know if this is breaking or not.
Who died?
Nobody died.
I know, that's gotta be another segment. All right, guys, learned this week who died.
I think that's all. That's what we should be thankful for, is that no one. I'm sure people died, but no one that's like culturally, pop culture wise, had passed away this week. So
yes,
I know. Watch that become the new name of the channel. Okay, who died?
Maybe. Well, breaking news. Mads Mikkelsen. There we go. Mads Mikkelsen is taking over for Johnny Depp in the Fantastic Beasts 3. So you'll be Grindelwald.
Whatever. That's horrible. What is Warner Brothers doing? Why did they fire Johnny Depp to begin with? You should still have that role. This is a travesty. Bring him back. Just kidding, man.
And
Scene.
It's a good move by them, man.
Yeah, it is.
Put it all in the rear view. Just keep going. It's probably a better hire anyway. So, cheers.
Yeah, he's a better villain anyway. So, he'll be Grindelwald, obviously. So, any more thoughts?
I mean, it's bittersweet. He's like, I remember saying, I don't think he's a good fit for it, but I think I've kind of been swayed that, okay, I like him. I just for the principle of establishing in the world of Harry Potter, a well-known character. So like once you have established who the actor is for the person, change for anybody, regardless of any outside hoopla going on. It's funky to have to change them. And it's like, I guess if you're going to do the best you can, you could do far worse than Mikkelsen. So I'm excited for what could happen.
Well, at least he didn't die, and then they had to replace him. Like Richard Harris.
Just breaking.
He ate a bad turkey, and now he's dead.
Oh, well. Ryan, any thoughts?
Yep. I mean, I'll be disappointed if he doesn't cook anything.
I'll just be disappointed if he doesn't play Grindelwald in like the snow. I don't know if you he had those two movies that came out like 2 years ago. I think one was called like Polar, and then like right after he won that was called Arctic.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I'm noticing a trend here, sir.
Arctic is really good.
They're both not bad. So
yeah, Polar wasn't terrible.
I was gonna say I agree with half of that statement.
Yeah, Polar wasn't bad. It was just. Yeah.
Was he on any type of express? Express.
Speaking of bad movies.
Yeah, right. Well, he was expressly trying not to die, so if that counts.
I feel him.
All right, next up, Black Panther 2 is going to set filming in July of this year, or next year. Yay. The only reason why I kind of bring this up is because Kip posted something onto the Facebook page and said that there's a rumor that M'Baka is going to be the new Black Panther. And I kind of wholly disagree and hope that it's not him. I think this is like Marvel's perfect opportunity to just kind of show that they can move forward with this big franchise with a woman. I think it's just kind of like fitting.
Or I also heard a rumor that they were just going to hologram Chadwick Boseman into the movie itself.
Really?
That's going to cost a lot, wouldn't it?
No, I did not hear that rumor. Come on, man. The rumor started here, though.
And it just spreads. No, that's just, I think it's less a rumor and just kind of a spitball idea. Like, we could go this way, and then, we'll meet in, whatever month they're going to meet. We'll talk it over, and then we'll start shooting this thing. And I said on the page, it's like, it's too on the nose to not be Shuri to take the role. I'm like, come on, it's right there. It's being lobbied up for you to spike it. Come on, just take it. It's, more women empowerment. I'm all for that. Why not do it? Make it so. I agree with you, Clint. That's weird. I don't think people would necessarily back that. A small fraction of people would do so.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of those things where one character is it at one point and then she has to earn it, or she becomes it later on in the movie.
Right.
Yeah. That could work.
Which might be a more compelling story.
Yeah, because I think that's how it happens in the books. So
maybe they'll probably make Black Panther 2 kind of the struggle to claim the title between her, him, anybody else who's going to compete for it, and then ultimately maybe have her. Yeah, so yeah, you could do that kind of blend, and I think that would work. I'd watch that.
Well, I'm sure we're going to watch this anyway. So.
I know. I was going to say they're going to turn out anything, and I'm going to watch it.
I don't want to watch it. Not going to go see a Marvel movie.
I'm going ahead and saying I'm boycotting Black Panther 2 right now.
All right, tell me how that works out for you.
Just kidding. I'll be there. I'll be there opening night, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Dan Trachtenberg is directing a new Predator movie. I don't know if Alex, you have a confused face.
Yeah, I'm going to let you guys take this. I'm not a Predator guy. You guys can take this. Have fun with it.
Well, I'm sure you two know who Dan Trachtenberg is, right?
I do not.
He's the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know the movie. I didn't know he was the director, sir.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, he's the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was actually really good. I kind of enjoyed it more than the first Cloverfield or whatever.
They're completely different. It's okay.
Yeah.
What was that? John Goodman. He killed that, so is what it is.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it Elizabeth Winstead in there too? Mary Winstead? Something like that.
And John Gallagher Jr.
Yeah. Well, going back to Predator, I think this is pretty good news because let's face it, the last one was horrible. And this poor franchise is trying to get...
What are you talking about? That was the best Predator ever filmed.
No. I don't think there's been a good Predator movie. Actually, well, I liked Rodriguez's movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good take on it.
Fun fact, this is a nice fun fact. That's actually I think the first date that Jeannie and I went on was to go see that movie in theaters.
Aww.
So, and I didn't think it was that bad of a film. It's a fun film. It's more fun than the last. More fun than the last.
What time of the year did that release? Do you remember?
June or July.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, man, if that's a February date, there's probably got to be something like Love Actually or whatever came out around the time you were dating. I don't know.
Let's Google.
We don't go watch that garbage.
I know. I always forget who you guys are. You guys are the combination of meaning.
Whatever. No. She likes stuff like that. She made me sit down and watch Sweet Home Alabama, and it was the most painful thing of my life.
And that's why I watched it again on Mo.
That's why I watched it next with director commentary. And it was just him going, "I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry for making this film and having you sit down and watch it."
You're like, why isn't this on Riff Tracks?
July 7th, yeah.
Yep. So.
Did the last one have a what do you call it? A subtitle like Predator blah blah blah, like Resurrection?
Just the
Predator.
Predator.
Oh, I thought so. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I remember everybody getting so hyped about that. And we had such a lot of promotional items, and then I had a lot of people come out and go, "Man, that was trash."
That's what they should do with the Scream movie. They should call it The Scream.
And there's just one scream the entire way. When's the scream gonna come? Is it? Oh no, they just yelled.
All right. Well, what do you guys think about Dan Trachtenberg directing?
I mean, is that all he's done is 10 Cloverfield?
Yeah, pretty much.
Then I really can't say much because I feel like it was a fine movie. It wasn't a big. I'm sure he's going to get a decent budget for this new Predator movie. So who knows what he's going to do with it? It's all about casting, man. Whoever he puts in the film. Just bring Adrian Brody back. He's not doing anything.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know. I mean, like...
Oh, he did an episode of The Boys, apparently.
Brody?
No. Dan Trachtenberg.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't remember him anywhere in there.
He also did an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But... Sorry, Ryan. What were you saying?
Oh, no. I mean, I think if he does get enough control over direction, it could be pretty good. His direction in Cloverfield Lane is really good. He's got a very ground up approach to how to shoot things and how to direct, and it works really well. But the last time we had a very notable director, Shane Black has an amazing track record, and he made easily the worst Predator movie in that series. So I'm not holding my breath. I wish the series had just stopped after Predators. I like Predators. I really, really hate the new one. So it's just kind of got a bad taste. It's like going into the new Terminator film. Great, Tim Miller. I don't want to see it. It was okay.
Yeah. It was all right. All right. Well, next up, the Molyneux Sisters are writing Deadpool 3. Apparently, their resume includes Bob's Burgers. I guess they're one of the producers and writers of Bob's Burgers. Also with this, there's a rumor going around that Disney is going to greenlight the rated R version of this, and that Ryan Reynolds is like signed on to kind of like usher this into the MCU. So, Deadpool 3.
I don't know. This is an interesting thing. I'm interested to see what happens. I was ready for a lot of fricks, a lot of fluffernuddles, a lot of ninny muffins. But
son of a fudge.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't see how it's going to fit into the MCU. I mean, are they really going to go that route? But we'll see. I don't think Ryan Reynolds would do any. I don't think he would do the film if they cut all that stuff out, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's under contract for that or not, but I just don't think he would do it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'm not really a Deadpool fan anyway. Like, I thought that the first movie was an interesting take on the character. The second one was a little too hand-fisted, I guess. But
well, this is the thing about the first one, and Matt can back me on this one, where it was not revolutionary, but obviously it's the first of its kind. And it's fun, it's goofy, and then the second one just kind of is the same thing, nothing much different. I mean, just take that, throw them in there, and maybe change the characters up, and you get the same movie. That's why I don't think the second one's as good. I don't remember if I bought the first one, but I was like, I certainly did. I know I didn't buy the second one because I'm just like, eh. But the writers of Bob's Burgers are okay. It's not so much the clever jokes that they come up with. It's more of it honestly feels like improvisation on the voice actors. And that's what it feels like. I'm not a Bob's Burger fan. I'll throw it on every once in a while, but it's more of the funny, jovial, or just nature of the voice itself that makes those kind of funny. Like, one of his kids, I believe his name Gene, and just every time he talks is just funny to listen to. Like, no matter what he says, it's just stupid and it's funny. So I don't know if that'll work with this. Maybe they'll get the whole movie is going to be comedy, but maybe even more so, they'll have a comic relief for the comedy.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm shaky. I don't know. I'll probably end up watching it for sure, but I don't know what to make of all of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, last but not least, The Last of Us is getting a series order from HBO.
Yay! I don't know how I feel about that, because the story is what it is. No, I said on the article, I just, unless you're gonna go full in with the cosplay, and I fully think that it can be done. I mean, we've all seen the cosplay for the Uncharted film, and it's spot on for a lot of it. Now, unless they're gonna go hard on that and like make sure that the details are good and that the characters are recognizable, it's just gonna feel like Walking Dead. Honestly, you gotta know what you have and make sure that you do it right. So I'm cautiously optimistic. So we'll see what happens. I'm down. Like, I would watch it, but take one episode and betray my trust, and I will watch something else.
I think it's a good move for them. I think it's I think they've got a lot to work with. I mean, I'm not, nuanced to the second game or anything, but I think it's a good popular IP, and I think they'd be great. I think they're gonna have fun with it. I'm sure people are gonna get upset. It'll probably look a lot like The Walking Dead, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Matt. Like I HBO doesn't really have like a horror series, and like that's what a lot of people is gating for. I mean, look at Netflix. They grabbed up The Witcher because they wanted a Game of Thrones-esque show, and now HBO has their zombie show. And let's face it, like HBO and Warner Brothers is probably going to throw a ton of money at this just to make sure that it's right. So,
yeah, and while you guys were talking, I remember watching something about games that should be remade, and Silent Hill came out, and I was like, okay, yeah. And a lot of people like Silent Hill, even though it's really similar to Resident Evil. Like, it's got a lot of similarities, but it's very different. Same case here. Like, Walking Dead and that have a lot of similarities, but yet they're totally distinguishable. So maybe it can work. Maybe it does. It can have that magic that The Witcher had, being successful, but while not being a total carbon copy of the Game of Thrones. So It could work. That actually makes me a little bit more optimistic, but still, we'll have to wait and see. I'll watch it. But again, don't betray my trust, man. Not you, Clint. The guys who make it.
all right, Ryan, you got any thoughts?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. I mean, I'm for it. Yeah. Not sure I have thoughts. I don't have thoughts. I played the intro to the first game, so I'm not really connected to the story that much.
Come on, man. You got to get invested.
It's not open world.
Man.
Right,
all of y'all with you not linear, like, man, I'll play anything. If it's got a good story, throw it my way. But it's okay, Ryan. It's not for everybody.
Well, see, I'd be more excited for the show because when I'm playing games, I'm like, I could be watching a movie and not have the stress of not knowing how to play video games. Or I can play an open world game and do whatever I want.
That's a good point.
I don't like it where I'm like, you have a video game and you've got to do this, and if you don't do well, the game is over and we're resetting. And I'm like, I just want to put on the movie version of that game then. So this might be really something up more my alley, which is why I have Witcher 3 and I like Witcher more.
Yeah, to your point, a lot of games have the difficulty, and you can go all the way to like story mode, where basically you press one button and then you can traverse through everything and beat whatever enemy comes your way. And
They're
then
like,
just move on with the cutscene.
We put an easy mode in this. I don't want to play easy. Don't worry, man. We named it story mode. No one's going to know the difference anymore. It's for those people that just want to enjoy the awesome plot and story narrative of this game.
That's right. Yeah. For that man right there.
Yeah.
All right. Any more news from you guys?
I would just like to say that I don't know if any of you guys have Netflix, but they just implemented this random play feature. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's blowing my mind, but it literally, you click on it and it just starts playing something random for you. And then you're like, if you don't like it, you just go over, you click right, and then it plays something else. So it's for those people that don't want to decide. They just want to let Netflix decide for them.
They're like shuffle?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally called play. I think it's called play something. Oh,
I guess that's taking
play something.
I guess that's taking. You know how when you hover over a movie or a show on Netflix and it gives that little preview of it.
Yeah,
it's taking that and just making it even faster. So then you don't have to keep exiting, going to the next thing. Keep scrolling around. It just kind of cycles through.
Well, it's definitely not pulling it from like my watch list, because the first thing it did was do like an episode of The Office, and then the second thing it did was a great British baking show episode, like a random episode, and then it did the Kevin Hart comedy special that's on there, and I'm like, what is going on here? So
So then you're like, I watched 3 hours of Kevin Hart.
Well, it's like it's playing something obviously, but I keep skipping forward and forward, and it's not really any different than me just looking at all the titles on the screen and going, no, I don't want to watch that. No, I don't want to watch that. I just have to wait for the show to load now and then go, no, I don't want to watch that. No, I don't want to watch that. So, yeah, so that's something. If you've got Netflix, with that $3 upgrade or upcharge that they're starting in the middle of this month, you get a new random play feature.
So
enjoy your new features.
Yeah, but don't talk badly about Netflix because we watch enough of their movies. It's one of these days they're going to come knocking on the door.
Next week. Join us next week as we review Christmas Chronicles 2.
Jangle Jungle.
Jungly jangle. All right. Anything else? No? All right. Well, you guys know what time it is then?
All right.
Mando time.
Story time. I don't know.
It's Mando time. You guys watch the episode this week?
Man.
Wait, which
I
one was
almost
this?
forgot to.
Which one was this episode? This was the
4.
Hold on.
The
4?
Siege.
Is it 4?
The Siege. Yeah, I watched
The Siege.
I don't pay attention to the title names. I'm just like, I
could
go
you?
right into it. Yeah.
Okay, so this episode he goes back to Navarro and meets up with Cara Dune, and I keep forgetting the other guy's name. Apollo.
Carl Weathers.
Grief Karga?
Yeah, Grief Karga. Thank you. And he has to help them blow up an Imperial substation or something like that. I don't know. I had some thoughts about this episode. I actually like this episode a little bit more. Maybe not the last one, but I did like it better than the second one.
I did too.
I think because it gives this one kind of like is starting to bridge the gap between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, because there's that spoilers from here on out on the Mandalorian if you haven't seen it. But the recording says something about M count, so I'm assuming that they're going to kind of like fist this back in like the midichlorians. I had thought that like J.J. Abrams was like midichlorians. No, that's BS. We're not doing midichlorians. That's dumb. So I guess Jon Favreau was like, hey, no, we're going to do midichlorians because that's what Lucas wanted. And so he talks about the M counts and then the Bacta tanks that were full of clones apparently. And then the Death Troopers. I love this whole thing, and I love Dave Filoni for trying to do this because he seems to be taking things that like J.J. Abrams was like, this is no longer canon, and then putting it back in so subtly to kind of like, I don't know if it's like a slight dig at that or just trying to put stuff back into canon that was awesome that they took out. Like Thrawn, like if you watch Rebels, like Thrawn is a part of, like Admiral Thrawn is all a part of the Rebels, and that he became canon again. And now with the Death Troopers, I think that's gonna be awesome. So, yeah.
When it came to that part of the Death Troopers, at first I thought they were all Vaders, like Darth Vader helmets, just lined up. I was like, wait a second, that's really okay, never mind. I thought that was really cool for a second. I was like, okay. But no, that was not the case.
I was just happy that we got more story. Like I felt like the whole plot, we got more information for that, and it wasn't just like a standalone episode that had maybe some information in the background. This actually like progressed the series for me, and that's what I've been asking for the entire like these first 4 episodes. So that was good. That said, I'm a little worried about the Mandalorian, man. Those are a lot of Death Troopers, and I mean, he's been awesome this show, but he's definitely not been that awesome. So I'm a little worried. He might need to go find some backup somewhere, some friends to help him out. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, with glow sticks. But yeah, man, bring back the midichlorians, man. We need a way to measure how the Force works, and that's fine. That's fine with me. I'm not gonna hate on it. It's a dumb name, but whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. Whatever. Mr. Mr. Ryan?
Ryan, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I thought it was. I mean, it wasn't necessarily my favorite, but I thought it was objectively like the best episode in the show so far.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the perfect bridge between. I mean, not only between what Star Wars has been doing and what Star Wars has done, but between the episodic nature of the show and a narrative structure. I loved that it starts out as your kind of typical like, ship problems, we're going to go on this side quest. And then we kind of just segue into here's what else is happening in the Empire, in the galaxy post original trilogy for the rest of the show probably. Seeing what I assume are, I don't know if they're jumping straight to like Phase 3 Dark Troopers, is really exciting because you kind of get a hint at that in Rebels. Thrawn's training droids are like a little bit like Phase 2 Dark Troopers. So I thought that was pretty exciting. But yeah, I have a lot of excitement. Maximum cuteness was reached in that episode. I don't know what else they can do than having Baby Yoda steal macaroons.
You say cuteness, man. Baby Yoda's kind of a jerk. He's been going around just eating stuff, stealing stuff, man. He just puts a smile on his face. He's like, "Oh, I'm innocent and cute." No, man, you're kind of a jerk, man.
I know, he steals everybody's food or offspring.
Babies. Yeah.
Would you not give him? Would you not give them to him though? That kid though, like who could resist giving that baby at least one macaroon? And that kid was just
Ryan,
no.
He's like, yeah, that kid's the jerk.
That's a straight up. That's a straight up dark side move, man. That's a Sith Lord in training, just using his force to take that guy's food.
Come to the dark side. We have macaroons.
Because we took them from people that wouldn't give them to us.
I think it's I mean, I don't know how much the show's going to get into this. I think the last couple episodes have had a really interesting perspective on the effect that Mandalorian's morally gray area have had on like a baby. Like he's getting there, but he's also like, hey, climb into this little area and don't get electrocuted. And he definitely gets him electrocuted. So
that was pretty funny.
It'll be interesting to see. I cannot wait for my my Baby Yoda Funko with just purple macaroon vomit.
Is that a real thing?
I really hope so.
Oh, okay.
That's a Chase variant, man. Good luck.
Good luck.
The flock.
Yeah, but I do hope it's a good episode. My only concern about the entire episode was that I saw a couple theories that it was just going to kind of jump straight to like cloning from Force Awakens, and I'm like, I don't want this show just to be about fixing things people didn't like about the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going that route. I think that this show's a lot smarter than that so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. I remember the third episode not being my favorite, but still enjoyable. I like this a little bit more than that. I think because of that whole the story narrative being a little bit more fleshed out. And yeah, because like Ryan nails it on the head. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, okay, there's an Imperial something, let's go beat them, and then something bad happens that prevents them from doing it, but they ultimately find a way to do it. I thought that I was going to be like, okay, just going to be one of those filler episodes, but I was delightfully surprised. And yeah, Baby Yoda still very cute. The thing I was like, okay, we get it about the episode was, and I'm so bad with all these Star Wars names. I'm sorry, but the blue fish guy. Oh. Yeah, I have no idea what his name is
either.
But they kind of bully him basically to keep helping them throughout. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And then they kind of short way threaten him like, hey, what if I, light you on fire or something, whatever. And that keeps happening. And I'm like, can we just get past that? Can he just finally either realize that he's not going to get his way, or I don't know. That was a little irritating after a while, but not so much that I didn't hate the episode at all. Yeah, it's fine. I think it was right on par with the last episode. I mean, for me, they've gotten not, and this is going to sound bad. For me, they've gotten worse, but not bad. It's like very, very slightly. Like, I love the first episode. Got a little bit worse, but still enjoyable. A little bit worse, but still really good for me. So I'm objectively still enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying it as much as but I think it's because I'm so zoned in to the action parts, and I don't know as much as the lore of Star Wars as you do, Clint, but I'm still enjoying it. Death Troopers, that's a nice little add-on. It's going to be like, whoa, what's going to happen with that? Yeah, it was still pretty cool when I thought they were all Vaders. That would have been an interesting plot. Man, just making an army of Vaders. Everybody's choke grabbing everybody.
I was about to say, who knows, man? They were trying to clone somebody with midichlorians, so you never know what these troopers will be able to do.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence about the whole midichlorian detail kind of continuing. I'm like, I don't think it's terribly dumb, but I don't mind it ceasing to exist either. So I'm like, it kind of depends on how it goes or where it goes from here.
Well, I kind of like how they kind of like introduced this, where he's like an M count, where it's like with Phantom Menace, the way that they explained it was just kind of like, well, if you have midichlorians, then you can use the Force. Where this is just, it's kind of like, if you have a high enough level, then you could like, then you're more Force sensitive than like normal. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good way to use that detail.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But before we move on, so Cara Dune. Okay, so she's played by
A UFC fighter.
Gina Carano?
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so I'm going to play ignorant. What is the deal with her? There's a lot of people that want her fired. Go for it, Ryan. Go for it, Ryan.
Blah, blah, blah controversy. I just don't think she's that good.
Oh.
I kind of agree with that. I'm like, she's not bad. She doesn't do anything for me. Like, I feel like you can have a much more effective actress in there, but she's not, like, if she stuck with it, like if they stuck with her, it's not killing it for me.
Okay.
Yeah. No, for real, what happened was that there was of course it's Twitter. She made a comment, or somebody made a comment to her about like assigning gender roles, and she made like a joke about it instead of like choosing to acknowledge the question or something along the lines, and people thought that was insensitive, but instead she just said she just didn't want to deal with like assigning like labels to things. And I'm like, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like I think it's a really silly thing.
Okay.
And then there was yeah.
Okay. Well, the only reason why I bring this up is because like the whole end of that episode was kind of like the setup for her to leave. I don't know if you guys kind of like caught that, where it was just like, I don't really want to join, but I do. One foot in, one foot out.
Leave so she can start her own series. We get all 24/7 Gina Carano. To be real though, like out of all the people that have been in the show, she was probably the least deserving actor to deserve a spinoff series. So
right.
Yeah. Agreed.
Oh well.
Not that I know. I'm not gonna say she's a bad actress, but yeah, I think I agree with you guys that she doesn't bring a whole lot to the table. And there's a reason that she didn't come out with any more movies after she made Haywire. So
that was the movie. I was like, I know she's in something that's big, semi-big, however you want to say it. But yeah,
she wasn't Deadpool.
I knew she was in that, but I was trying to think of the movie that Matt just said.
Is she also in one of the Fast and Furious movies? I feel like she is.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, to me though, like even there's the last episode of season 1, she's acting opposite like a robot, a baby puppet, and a guy in a helmet, and she's the least exciting thing on screen.
What?
Wow,
man!
Tell us how you really feel, Ryan.
Man, let me get that aloe vera for that burn. Jeez.
I don't know. I had a lot of problems with the supporting performances in the first season of Mandalorian. So for anybody who hasn't like read my review, like I thought the direction needed a lot of work, and season 2 has improved on that significantly so far for me.
I mean, I will agree with all of that. Like, there's nothing about what you just said that I don't find accurate. Like, yeah, she's not that interested in me. I'm indifferent at worst. And then I agree, the second season's I didn't hate the first season by any stretch of the imagination, but season 2 feels like it has more structure. And then I agree, the second season's I didn't hate the first season by any stretch of the imagination, but season 2 feels like it has more structure. And then I agree, the second season, feels like it has more structure. and it knows. I don't know. It just feels way around better.
Yeah,
as far as direction goes.
It seems to have some self-control too. Like the lady on Tatooine in episode 2, she's in the first season, and I really couldn't stand her in the first season. This time they kind of reined it in, gave her some quips in 2 episodes, and that was it. And I thought moderation was very good for a performance that's supposed to be kind of comically dry for Star Wars. I don't know. Every time Star Wars does anything, the performances always feel a little different, and they always take a couple of years to sink in for some reason. Which is why I like Solo so much. Clicked right away for me. Anyway.
See, I'm getting the Mandela effect with Solo when it comes to Ryan. Every time I think of it, I either think he likes it, and then the next time I think, no, I think he really hates it. And then the next time we mention it and Ryan's in the conversation, I'm like, no, he likes it. No, wait, no, he hates it. I can't ever remember.
I have a very weird way of thinking about Solo. I love thinking about it. If I'm always in the mood to watch it, or if I've watched it, I always think positively of it. And then while I'm watching it, I'm like, this is not as good as I wanted it to be. And then I finish it, and I'm like, oh, but it was fun. And then I want to watch it again, and then I watch it again.
No wonder I'm so confused.
Yeah.
See, I think I set the bar. I kind of feel the way you do, Ryan, about it. I remember watching it in theaters and going, wow, this is a big disappointment for me. But it was okay. It was fun to watch. And then I watched it again when it came out on DVD, and without, those expectations or whatever, went in with nothing. And I was like, you know what? This is a fun movie. This actually, and this is also after, Last Jedi came out. So I'm like, you know what? I actually enjoyed this. This was fun and wholesome. Yeah. So I enjoyed it.
I had to rewatch it for my class. So I actually liked it.
In fact, I think Solo and Mandalorian have a very similar feel as far as its visual style goes too. Like the use of color is very similar. That palette works really well.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it too. I wasn't blown away. The secret ending is like, what? And yeah, it's fun. It's a fun watch. I can't remember. I bought a bunch of those Star Wars before I knew Disney Plus was coming out, and I can't remember if I bought Solo along with it. So I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, are we done with Mando Time? Any other thoughts?
I am. I don't want to be any more upset. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Then this week,
I saw that the next episode was rumored to be the longest in the show so far. I don't know how true that is.
At 41 minutes.
At least they're not going down.
I was about to say, that just means that the episode after this one will be 25 minutes. So
yeah. But I mean, I'm really excited. Dave Filoni directing. I don't even need to watch anything next week. I can just fill all my time with Mandalorian.
Ahsoka is coming. Yeah. What's funny is I think I'm even my thought process on her is kind of changed, because it's when the Clone Wars first came out, I was wholly against it. I was like, Anakin never had a Padawan, doesn't need a Padawan. He's a Padawan himself. I just don't get this. And now it's yay, she's coming.
Yeah, she went from literally the worst character in Star Wars to one of the greatest characters in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing what a character arc will do.
Right?
Good one too.
I want to see more Jar Jar Binks now.
No.
I got no reaction.
Think that's not a good idea. Mister, so think that not good.
Okay. Then let's go into the movie that we reviewed this week, which was Run. Starring Sarah Paulson and Kira Allen. She's a newcomer. And a little fun fact, she actually does use a wheelchair in real life. So she's
a method actor, is what you're saying.
Paraplegic.
She's actually played by Daniel Day-Lewis.
So this is very hard to describe in kind of a couple sentences. It's just a thriller about a girl who's been.
I think it's hard to describe without giving anything away.
It's almost. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and just open the reviews for this.
Do it.
So, I want to first say, Ashley and I watched this last night, and we were about to. She wanted to watch a trailer to know what it was about, and then we got like 5 seconds into the trailer, and I paused it. I said, "Wait a second." I remember us talking about this and saying, "This is one of those movies where you need to know the least amount as possible as you can about before you watch it."
Mhm.
And I'm so glad that we did that, because after we finished the movie, she's like, "Hey, let's see what the trailer looked like," and it gave away so many plot points and so many critical scenes that I was like, I'm so glad we didn't do that. So that's why I'm almost glad you couldn't actually come up with a synopsis. Like,
Yeah.
so if you haven't watched it, don't listen to anything. Don't listen to, go watch it. Let me first go ahead and give a rating for it. I actually really like this. I was surprised at how much I like this. I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to throw an 8 burger out there, because it was suspenseful, and it was what's that one movie with Kathy Bates? What's
Misery.
Misery. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, this is pretty much just Misery, but a new take on it, and being a relative instead of just a fan. So I like that. I liked it went by at a brisk pace. I didn't feel like I was, just kind of trudging through a movie. There's only one scene where where the mom's talking to like a mailman person, like a FedEx delivery guy. That scene was a little bit too long. Like it was so unnecessary. But otherwise, it went by pretty quick. I thought the story was fine. The ending kind of was like, when this one thing happens, I'm like, why would that happen? And then that very last little nugget was like, what? That kind of pushed it. I was hovering around a 7, and then I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty kind of like, rarely in these thriller/horror type movies is the ending ever good for me. Most of the time, like, it's got a lot of great potential, and then it just falls flat every single time without fail. But this one, I like the ending. And Paulson's like, I hate to say that I don't like her. There's something that bothers me about her, and I think that was effective in me not liking her character as this psychotic, controlling mother who's, doing these absolutely sadistic things in order to control her daughter and keep her from leaving, or to keep her from doing anything, honestly. So I enjoyed this a lot, and I would recommend this absolutely. But it's similar to how we were talking about Green Room a while ago. I was like, I didn't know anything about that, and that actually helped with this. Like, if you knew anything, it would kind of dilute the taste. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm say too much about it, so not to ruin it. I mean, if we want to do spoilers later, we'll cross that bridge. But yeah, 8 out of 10. I liked it. Surprisingly, not too bad. Now, this was from the, I believe, writers and producers of Searching, right?
Yep.
I've never seen Searching, so I can't compare it and say one's better than the other. But I enjoyed this. I liked it. So that's my take.
Cool.
Woo. Good take. I kind of agree with you, Alex. I'm torn between a 7 and an 8. So for right now, with our conversations going, I'm going to say a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. Searching is a completely different movie. There are touches, just by the way Searching is filmed or shot or shown, it's completely different. This movie has little hints, kind of how Searching plays out, just based on her investigative techniques, I guess. And I was getting hints of that, but this movie is kind of like a mix between, like, it's got those hints of Searching in there, and then, like you said, I was thinking Misery too. And then while I was watching it with Jeannie, she brought up the Act, which is a miniseries that's on Hulu, which almost has the same kind of story on it. It's actually based on a true story about a woman. Well, I don't want to go into it right now with spoilers. But if you've seen the Act, then it's kind of a spoiler. Anyway, Keira Allen does a great job, considering, this, I think, is her first movie. And like you said, she's actually a paraplegic. So she's actually in a wheelchair. And fun fact, actually, that I think the director of it said people came into, like, the audition for this role in wheelchairs that weren't actually supposed, they weren't actually paraplegic, because that's what they were looking for, is someone who was actually in a wheelchair. But yeah, it was good. The tension was good. I think everything played out. The one issue that I really had with the movie, and a lot of movies have this issue, is just how do we get to that point where the problem becomes the problem? Like, basically, this girl's been alive this whole time, and then we reach this, this climax, or this tipping point right at the beginning. Why is this happening right now? And
Right.
I thought the exact same thing at some point.
I mean, and that was my biggest issue, and that bugged me almost the entire movie. But I think it played out really well. The tension in the film with some of the scenes was wonderful. Just how they played it out, almost in real time, and how someone would actually do things like that. And I thought that was really clever. It was really good. And Sarah Paulson, I mean, she's coming out of American Horror Story. She plays that kind of character all the time. So it's a pro at it. It's almost typecast for her, and I think she did a wonderful job in that too. Another fun fact, apparently this movie is the number one watched Hulu movie on Hulu of all time. So that's crazy after, only 5 days of being, released.
Did you catch a glimpse of what the number 2 is?
No. They just released that. They didn't release a list.
Okay.
Who knows? But it's good. She does a great job. I don't know what the future holds for Miss Allen. I'm sure Sarah Paulson's also, going to go on and do the same character, but she always does. But she was good at it. Also, another fun fact: this movie was actually filmed, and I'm not wearing my hat, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. People, enjoy that fun fact and knowledge. But I'm excited. I like this writer director. I think he's got something going on. I think he's got his wheelhouse to go to, and I'm sure he'll make another fun movie next. Just keep that budget low and keep the story interesting. But yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
With no spoilers yet. Next.
No spoilers yet. Brian?
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to stay on a positive track?
No, go first.
Okay. That was okay. 10 minutes in, I called everything that was going to happen in the film, and that's probably because I've seen Misery and a ton of other movies. I don't know. I have trouble justifying this film's good intentions of having characters in this genre of film making smart decisions immediately to have the plot be like, great, good job. Now we're going to do the same repercussion anyway that every other film does. And I'm like, what is the point of doing things differently if you're going to have the same results by the end? So I think there were some fine moments in the film. I already forgot her name. Really great. Sarah Paulson was fine. Alex, you might have ruined this for me. I hate Glass. And you were talking about how much you didn't want to watch it because she's in Glass. And the whole time I was like, she's playing her character from Glass. And it made me hate Glass even more. So
that just fueled my hate for her and thus love for the movie.
I don't know. I think there's a fine line between playing that type of character and playing that type of character really well. And I thought she did an okay job. I wasn't in love with it. I think that's not her fault. I think there's just some moments of direction that are just really obvious. And it needs to be sometimes, but I don't want to get too much into it, but it was like, this has to happen because we're here on the resolution. So let's get as close to this happening as possible so it can naturally happen. And I'm like, yeah, but you've now taken this step to make this character do this thing unnaturally so that this can naturally happen. So I thought it was okay.
That's fair, because I remember thinking myself, like, okay, I'm going to pick every plot point within the first few minutes. Like, I already feel like this is going to happen in this. Maybe it's because I just haven't seen as many movies. I guess I got enough right, or rather enough wrong to keep it fresh for me. Maybe because I haven't seen as many movies. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, I think the biggest thing for me, like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's a fun watch. And I started watching it at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I expected to watch half an hour of it and come back to it the next day. And I ended up watching the whole thing. So it's definitely entertaining enough. But the thing for me is there's just and what you guys were talking about, like the inciting incident just kind of happens. And for me, everything in the film kind of happens. You get information because this happens. And I'm like, there's no consequences to whether this makes sense. So like, we're going to put this character in a room with this exposition. Why? So the audience can get this exposition. And I'm like, we've learned from the movie so far that this probably wouldn't unfold this way. So I think there was a lot of that where I'm just, Searching was such a smart movie. And so I think maybe that set too high a bar for me. And so overall, I thought it was okay. I think if they had made their characters consistently made smart choices and then maybe stuck with those and added some more originality to it, I probably would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, to that point, I do remember, while not giving anything away, there is a pharmacy scene, and I remember thinking, okay, this is kind of weird. Nobody would ever act like this exactly. Like, this was a little weird. Like, the pharmacist, the people in line, nobody would be chill or doing whatever they're doing. So I get that. But at the same point, I also wanted to mention, at an hour and a half, I think the duration of this movie is just about perfect. Like, I think had it been any longer, I probably would have been like, okay, this is dragging on a little bit, but I thought an hour and a half is just right for this movie. Wanted to throw that in
it's
there.
a good thing they took out all the song and dance numbers then.
I'm gonna poison you or something. Maybe not. I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess it's me. I actually agree with all of you, to be honest with you. But I still give it an 8 anyway. Ryan, to your point, yeah, this movie is predictable from the get-go. But the reason why I gave it an 8 is because of it being predictable. You start to enjoy, like, I started to enjoy the performances a lot more. I thought Kira Allen was actually pretty good. Like, for her, this being her first movie, I thought that she kind of carried this hour and a half pretty well, to be honest with you. And Sarah Paulson, yeah, she's kind of typecast now as this American Horror Story type of thing. But because she does it so well, it's kind of fun to watch her kind of do it. And with you, like Matt, like it bugged me the whole movie as well. It's an hour and a half, and it was just like, okay, how did we get to this point? You're like going into college. Why now? Like, why is this now like kind of like the catalyst that is like projects this movie forward? But that was like my only like gripe with it, because yeah, it was like the whole movie where it's like, okay. But I think with this, like, I liked the framing, a lot of it, like the shot setups. I liked the tension a lot. The music I thought was actually really well done. Because it kind of carried that tension in, and almost it wasn't like Hitchcockian, but it was kind of, and it kind of set up like he did really well with like shot setups and like framing of this, some of the shots and things like that. And like the ending, like you, Alex, I kind of dug the ending. I was like, yeah, that was pretty fitting for what was happening. But yeah, I gave it an 8. So, you guys want to do spoilers now?
Yes.
Oh,
We'll just
okay.
go ahead. We've already given our rating, so spoilers.
Well, I gave it a 6. I forgot to actually say that.
Oh yeah, sorry.
The thing, no, it's okay.
2 8s. Matt, you 7.5?
Yeah, I'm still debating on whether or not to
6.
go up or down, but 7.5 is probably where I'm at right now.
So,
okay.
My favorite thing about this movie was how difficult it is to do anything in the house secretly without a parent finding out. I was like sneaking out and trying to get on the laptop. I was like, yeah, every time I would like get up and go to the fridge to get food, I'd be worried about waking my parents up for no reason.
Right.
That was it. So they definitely captured that. I don't know if that was the goal, but they definitely captured that feeling.
No, I think that absolutely was the goal. I think it handled the logic of those situations. I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to say, I don't know. I just liked it all. I don't remember anything jumping out to me as like, oh man, I really love that scene. I don't know. Maybe if you guys mentioned something else, I'll be like, okay, that was it.
And I completely understand your critique of it too, Ryan. And I think a lot of that, the tropism or, the lack of originality really of it, it's just kind of holds it back some. But at the same time, I think it conveys those tension in those scenes really well. Like, especially that scene where she gets, locked in her house and she has to she can't use the phone. So she has to climb out on the roof, which I was like, did they really throw this girl outside on this roof? I'm like, this is before I knew she wasn't like, she was actually like handicapped. And then I was like, wait, did they really throw this girl out on this roof?
Yeah, right.
I don't think they did. I'm not sure. I didn't look into that. But I thought that whole scene was good, and like that's what she had to do, and that's what whether it's throwing yourself down the stairs, and then getting in your wheelchair and trying to like roll on down the road. I thought all that was great, and then that whole turn with the mailman, and Sarah, she's gonna do something crazy. You just don't know what. I'm just more mad at that mailman for not being more cautious about the situation, which is why that you're angry about.
These smart people doing dumb things.
I think there's a little bit of both going on, hand in hand in here, and I think you have to appreciate one, and accept one, and then appreciate the other. Is what I'm trying to say. So I can get that.
Well, I think for anybody who is skeptical of it, I think the biggest thing that I need to, and I'll probably try to consider it when I'm writing my review, is if I think having loved Searching so much set the wrong expectations for me, because Searching starts as the thriller using this gimmick, not gimmick in a bad way, using this layout with its virtual world, and it continues on that thriller path until it suddenly does something very different by the end. So that sudden change in where you think the story is going was something I really expected from this, and I shouldn't have at all. Like, I was like, oh, it's the same director. He's going to pull kind of a similar, we're going to go with this genre, and then suddenly we're going to get to this point and change the way the story is working for the genre. And it doesn't do that. So I think if people go into it without the expectations of that director doing that thing every time, which makes sense. I think I was just not in the right mindset for what the film was going to be. Maybe I should have watched the trailer.
No, I think that. Well, I don't know. Your whole idea with it, not being that super original. I think maybe the trailer would have made it worse for you. Actually,
yeah, probably. Yeah.
The fact. I mean, you talk about. I want to get the guy's name, and I'm probably going to butcher it. Anish Chigante. Anyway, that's the guy's name, writer director. You think about Searching, and it's probably a script that he's worked on for like the past 5-10 years or whatever, and then he's got this script which he probably hasn't even looked at, or probably may not have even written until the past 2 years, or since Searching came out, where he's like, man, I got to write a new thing. So he had so much more time to work on that one script, and then he knocks this one out. And I think I don't know, that's just me speculating on it. But that could have been one of the issues too. But I thought, like I said, that the tension was around. I'm sure it had those logic issues, but I think a lot of the other logic in it was spot on.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, man. Like in the first 10-15 minutes of this movie, you pretty much see where this is going, and like her whole the college acceptance letters. Those are in the trash somewhere. That those are hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
As soon as they bring those out and they're like, oh, they're not here yet, and you're like, yeah, they are. They're somewhere. And the whole switched at birth thing, you kind of see all this coming, and I think that's where I respect your point, Ryan, but I think that for me it was just kind of if you hang all that up. And you, like you said, you kind of don't compare this to Searching, because Searching is kind of a brilliant film if you look at it, with the gimmick or whatever. It is kind of a brilliant film. But when you look at this and you kind of say, okay, this is where it's going, but I just want to enjoy the ride going. And the ending where she I don't know, she hacks these up, wherever she pulled those pills out of from. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of fitting. And now you're gonna get your just desserts. So,
another fun fact. When they shot that scene, she apparently shot that scene with the pills in her mouth.
Why?
I don't know. That's just what she said on Twitter. I was just
you could do it differently.
I know, but she wanted it to be more authentic that way.
Oh,
yeah, she's being played by Daniel Day-Lewis.
Well, I mean, I thought it was effective. I actually didn't know that she would. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I really didn't notice that she was doing that. And if that's the case, she hit him pretty well. No, the whole child switch at birth thing.
That was actually the second thing that I really didn't enjoy that I had a bigger issue with was the switch to birth thing. I didn't mean to cut you off, but continue, Alice.
I actually not liked it, but it caught me off guard because, again, maybe I just haven't seen enough movies, but I think what helped me get caught off guard was you at the beginning when you see the baby that she actually gave birth to, and then it kind of cuts to all the definitions of all those different, health concerns. And then they cut to, this is what this girl's life is. She's diabetic, she's asthmatic, she's this, she's that. And then, that it fully established in my mind that that was her. And then I never thought about it until that part. And I was like, oh, okay. So I actually liked it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like a flavored gum. Like I liked it for a second, and then I just wasn't that much in love with it. I just kind of, oh, that's interesting, and then, all right, let's get the rest of the movie. Not to say that it was bad; it just was short-lived. My excitement for it. But that's the thing. My favorite part of the movie, I think, was the ending. I was like, oh, that's really sneaky. I didn't know that she was going to do it. But okay. Go ahead, Ryan.
You make a really good point, and I think it might be one of my biggest issues with the movie is, and something I've just kind of put together in my head, the dangers of casting somebody who is going to be the villain by the end. I'm assuming we're just pretty much in like spoiler territory.
Oh yeah, we already called it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But when you have your Sarah Paulson or your Ben Mendelsohn's or whoever else, you're like, well, this character isn't going to be as complex as we think they are by the end. And so I think one of the biggest things for me in that movie is that they had the potential to go with a slightly more tragic story as far as like having this broken kind of figure goes, this broken mother figure. You see it in a lot of, there's a couple movies, and I've not been able to think of one since last night. And there's a famous one that's set in classic Hollywood where the Wire Hanger movie.
The what?
But anyway, but you get this idea that you've got this like this parental figure who's so protective that it's kind of driven them nuts a little bit, and so you get this negative authority figure, especially with somebody who's like kidnapped someone else's child. And I don't think that casting somebody who we have seen play the villain multiple times in that same, especially recently, was as subtle as they could have been. You kind of advertise right away that it's not going to be quite as sympathetic as it could be.
So what you're telling us is that we needed a John Goodman for this movie. As
the mother, yes. But John. I think that's actually perfect. John Goodman doesn't always. I mean, John Goodman's played a couple bad characters for sure, but he, even when he's the bad guy, he's never he's not often the bad guy. He's just kind of a bad guy.
I just bring that up because we were talking about 10 Cloverfield, and that's kind of the.
And you're absolutely right, because John Goodman's somebody you're like, okay, yeah, I could kind of trust you. And halfway through Cloverfield Lane, you're like, you know what, you're right. These things are happening, and then by the end, you're like, okay, well, you're also insane.
Yeah.
But you don't really get hints at that. You get like he's a little crazy, but he's also right. And so there's some moral conflict with his villain in Cloverfield Lane because of casting. But if you throw someone in there who's just going to be the bad guy, and you treat that performance like they're the bad guy.
Yeah.
By the way, John Goodman has played a bad character. I remember we went to Captive State, and that was one of the worst pieces of garbage I've ever seen.
I couldn't make it through that.
We walked out I was surprised we made it through like an hour, and we were like, this sucks.
It's like the genre that's in my wheelhouse too, and I was like halfway through, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break, and then I just never went back and finished it.
Wow.
I know. I love the poster for that. Like, I remember us getting that, and I'm like, that's actually amazing. I like the colorful yet simple design of it, and then I was so disappointed with that. So John Goodman has made a bad character only because the movie was so bad.
I will have to watch that. I think I own it, so I'll have to watch it by next week.
You don't have to watch it. I mean, be my guest.
Come in next week. Ryan's like, guys, what were you talking about? Captain State was amazing, man. Did you not see this? I'm like, no, Ryan, I didn't make it to the second half of the movie, so no, I didn't see that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be my review of Cats next week because I have to watch it with Quinn tomorrow. So.
Oh no.
Just go into it realizing that it's based on the musical Cats. That's it. Don't think of it anything. It's the musical Cats. That's all it is.
That's a little like saying like go into surgery expecting this to hurt, not going to surgery expecting to die.
All right.
Whatever gets you through it, man.
Okay, so now that we're in Spoilerville, the climax right before the wrap up, your finale on the stairwell. I do not believe that a character who is so versed at using their situation to talk themselves out of other situations, or putting people on the defense with, saying, hey, you're a white male, or hey, I'm a mother, or hey, you have no right, or hey, this is your job. She's not going to stand right on the edge of a staircase.
Actually,
that is true.
I'm going to go ahead and go down to a 7, because you guys talking about the baby snatching part, that bugged me. And then that whole hospital thing, that bugged me too. The employees at this hospital were horrible. How do you sneak a patient out of this hospital? I know it's in Winnipeg. It's not in Winnipeg. They're in Washington. I get that. But I know this. But how do you sneak a girl that's had like a suicide attempt out of a hospital when you know that she needs to be talked to a therapist? And that bugged me too. So yes, there was good logic on the main protagonist part. But as a plot, as the whole story goes, there is some stuff here that really bugged me. Yeah. Like, can you honestly go to a hospital, walk into the nursery, look through that window, which I guess they're serving up these babies for, you look through and you're like, which one do I want? This one? No.
You're making awesome points.
This one?
I thought that too when it was revealed that she wasn't her mom and that she'd stolen her. I was like, they're going to just... How bad is the security, or how bad are the employees where people can just snatch up any baby they want to?
I kind of almost think the movie didn't even need that in that movie. Like, why couldn't she have just been the kid who wasn't that sick to begin with, but that you're just making sick? Like, just because you want her there all the time. Like, why couldn't that? Why do you have to throw in, like, a baby snatching part that literally would blow up your movie? Like, how has nobody questioned this woman? Like, they obviously know a baby died at some point, don't they? Like, her baby died. Somebody has to know somewhere.
And she's going to a public, I don't know, our kids are going to college support group.
Well, the thing about it is like, if you do watch the trailer, there is a scene, I think, that they cut from the movie that like, she, like, Googles her mom, and, like, it's not her name or whatever.
Yeah, that did happen. I remember thinking that too, Clint. Like, there was a scene I don't remember in the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it in the movie, in the final cut. So, I mean, there was that, but like, yeah, I kind of agree.
So she took the name of the baby's mom, the legit baby's mom. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, like, if you watch the trailer again, there's like this quick snippet where it's just like she's Googling.
Oh, okay.
Her mom's mom's fake name.
Yeah.
She was like, wait, this isn't that's mom, but that's not her name, I think. Okay. Something like that. But yeah, I think I did actually think for like a split second that maybe she would, like, she obviously was, but like, it was her kid that got better. Mm-hmm. And so that the kid wouldn't leave, she'd start to make her sick. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
like, it was her biological kid. It wasn't the stolen kid.
Well, right. And I think that would have been a more compelling character for the mother by the end.
Right, and I thought that too. And then I was like, no, that's too easy. So,
I don't know. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna go on something else.
I mean, honestly, my thought is just really, I really actually agree with all those points that all of you said. but it's just a case of, for me personally, it only bothers me as much as I let it, and I just kind of like, I guess I oversaw it enough where, you know, it doesn't bug me enough to nitpick at it. I'm just like, okay, let's see what the final result is, and then okay, yeah. I mean, that's all I have to say about that.
But so a couple of the logic. Well, Alex, I agree. I think it's one of those things where like movies got a movie. So like the inciting incident, movies got to get. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you can start young and do a time jump. You can start young. You know. So you just gotta.
I want to use that phrase right now. Movies got a movie, man.
You've never used that phrase?
No.
I use it all the time. People are who are like Avatar's dumb, and I'm like, movies got a movie. You got to get to your movie somewhere. You know, you can't have gravity exist without being able to see another satellite. Who cares? Sometimes you just got to go with it. But,
hold up. You know what? That might actually not be a bad name for a podcast.
I
movie?
knew somebody was going to say that. Movies got a movie.
You heard it here first.
We'll just defend bad movies.
Movies got a movie.
But for me, the biggest thing that breaks this movie though is a lot of the logic gaps in the character thinking. I know we've already touched on this. Matt, you said the scene with the FedEx guy, the post office guy, the mailman. I thought that was from the beginning of that scene. I was like, I'm so happy the scene is going the way it is. I was like, we're introducing an unimportant character as a smart character. She's like, here's all the reasons you have to listen to me, and he's like, yeah, but I'm going to do the right thing. And she's like, no, do this. And he's like,
you're waiting for that turn. You're waiting for that time for him to be stupid. And I'm waiting for that sigh to come out. And it doesn't come out. And I'm like, wow, he actually is making a good decision here.
And then he freaking turns his back on her after he asks the girl if she wants him to take her to the cops. And I'm like, if you think she's dangerous, maybe don't turn your back on somebody. That's that aspect where I was like, you've just established this character as a smart character. Or maybe if you can have the same result by cheating your way around it. Have her do something else where he doesn't have to make a foolish decision. You know, as silly as like Alien Covenant is, I think there's a couple decisions in that where it's like, hey, we can have our characters be smart and then still get the point across.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of moments like that throughout the whole movie where I'm like, why would she lock her in the basement with all the important information that would incentivize her more to try to get out, or heaven forbid, try to kill herself? Which was probably one of the smartest decisions in the entire movie for me, though.
Oh, yeah. For her to get out of that basement?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought it was really great. I was like, worst case scenario, you die. Best case scenario, you're taken to the hospital.
Worst case scenario, you're gonna die. You're gonna die anyway, so might as well take that chance.
But then she goes to the world's worst hospital, where code blue means everybody in the hospital has to leave the one area of the hospital. Who has an escalator not fixed at a hospital? Like that's a priority at a hospital.
Stop trying to ruin this movie for me.
It's what I do.
No, I mean that's what we're here for. There's
they're all actually really good points. Like, and I still thought it was a fun ride.
And we'll pick apart movies all day, but I think there were so many refreshing or good things or entertaining things in this movie that kind of outshine that, and that's why we keep talking about these bad things. But I think I'm pretty set at a 7. I think it was entertaining enough where I'm just like, you need to watch it just because of this performance, just because of these scenes. Don't think too much about it. It's not going to be as surprising as you expect, but it works well. So the payoff's decent. So you just keep watching it and you'll be caught off guard with some things, and some things will just be as you expected, but it's a fun watch. So 7.
Totally couldn't have said it better, but I still stay at an 8.
Yeah. A 2026 is still an 8.
Yeah. That's true.
It's something to watch.
But yeah, like, I completely agree with you, Alex. Like, you have to kind of just let this movie just be.
Movie's got a movie.
Yeah, movie's got a movie. All right. Any other thoughts on Run?
No, I think we saturated this pretty well.
Another fun fact. She, in that scene at the end where she goes to see her mom in the prison hospital, whatever that is, when she stands up, that's actually obviously not her. They just, superimposed her face over the stunt double or whatever character, the body double. So that's as per her. So,
Wonder how much that person got paid.
How much?
$4.
We'll buy you dinner.
they got catering.
I was gonna say
Right.
you can get anybody that's trained to be on camera, any stunt performer or stand-in. I mean, they probably just use a stunt. She gets thrown down the staircase. They have a stunt performer. They probably just threw that person in the shot.
Fun
instead
fact,
of just walk.
that was actually her that felt. I'm just playing. That's not
What?
what that-
I would not believe that.
They're just
Absolutely.
like, go on.
Just go for it.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, that's Run. So coming up next week, we have a few things that we can actually watch. And side note, December is going to be very busy for us. So I was thinking that we can probably either split these movies because on the 4th, there's 4 or 5 movies that are coming out. I really want to see Mank. I don't know if that's up any other person's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
never even heard of it.
I've been watching
That's-
Orson Welles movies the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I read your
I mean,
review
I know
on Third
that's-
Man. I really like that
yeah.
one. But next week we have The Flight Attendant, which is a HBO series that has its first 3 episodes drop. 26th, so Friday. We have Super Intelligence, which is also an HBO movie with what's her face? Melissa McCarthy. Happiest Season.
Yeah,
is
but you
out.
said super intelligence.
Well, the Super Intelligence is James Corden, so
Oh God.
That's so much worse.
Ugh.
Yes, we're watching that movie just because we hate ourselves. Let's do it.
Movie's got a movie.
Can you handle
movie.
2 James Corden movies in the same week? Because he's in Cats.
Yeah, which one's going to be the worst one?
I don't know, a CGI cat or, well, partially CGI'd.
The trick is whether or not Quinn's going to make it further through Cats than she did through Mulan.
Yeah, are we gonna take bets? 30 minutes. The last it was
I know. What's the over under?
30 minutes is the baseline, so I'm gonna do 10 minutes over.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right.
Yep.
I think with Cats you'll know right away if she's in though. She's not going to last 15 minutes if she's not. But if she makes it past 15 minutes, you're going to have to watch the whole thing. I'm sorry.
You should have a
have to.
tripod set up just to record her what she does, and just kind of
Little
capture the
stopwatch.
magic, man. Yeah, exactly. No, there was remember I
We
was
have 2
talking
more.
to Clint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
more.
go ahead.
We have Happiest Season, which is on Hulu, with Kristen Stewart, and I think Dan Levy's actually in it.
Isn't that a series too? I think I saw that earlier.
Is it a series? I thought it was
I think
just a movie.
I think it's just a movie.
Is it a movie? Okay.
Yeah. And Uncle Frank, which is on Amazon.
I wasn't
Anybody
lying
in that?
earlier when I said we could watch The Christmas Chronicle too, by the way.
Or we can watch that.
That's probably what I'm going to watch.
We got 1 vote for the Christmas Chronicles.
First one's great.
I am because like I said, I like torturing myself. That super intelligence might be okay.
What
Let's
is
do it.
what
Let's
was the
just do
first
it.
one you said?
Is it directed by Paul Feig?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
I doubt it.
I'll check.
I don't. Super Intelligence.
Slowly but surely.
Ben Falcone.
Oh, that's her husband.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's her husband.
Yeah. He's in a lot of movies with her.
Who are we talking about?
Melissa
Falcone.
McCarthy.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that too.
We're talking about the incredible director of Life of the Party and The Boss and Tammy.
No, there was. I think The Boss is the one. What's the one where she was like not a nanny, but almost like a Girl Scout?
I'm gonna need you to be more specific.
I don't know. I
Which
can't
is
be
the
more.
one where she's loud and makes outrageous comments?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Spy.
Yeah, it's the
Spy.
boss.
That was it.
No.
That was it. Clint got it. Spy.
Wait, you
That was
said
the
that
one
she's what?
I couldn't remember that she was actually a spy. Go figure.
Well, in Spy, she's like a handler, and then she turns into a spy.
Yeah.
Oh well, then I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering.
If it's a Girl Scout one, it's the boss.
I don't remember which one I'm trying to remember.
They're
Why
all
do I
kind
know
of men
most-
together.
I know, man. For somebody who doesn't like Melissa McCarthy, you're throwing all of her.
Matt, you gonna rank every Melissa McCarthy movie for us next week?
I mean, I'll go through it. I'll do it, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
First to do that, I have to watch all of them over and over again.
What am I thankful for? Not being Melissa McCarthy. No.
Actually, if I had to rank, I think Spy would actually probably be number one on that list. I think. I thought that was clever.
So I don't have. Go ahead.
I like it because of Statham.
Yeah.
I just like actors that don't do like they're normal, and they kind of like change it up. So,
Like if I'm doing like off the cuff, like number 1 and number 2 it's Spy and Bridesmaids. If I'm picking those two, so, yeah.
Speaking
There you
of
go.
Jason Statham, don't you like that movie where he plays a brooding, tough British guy?
yeah,
Yeah.
He's like the British Army Hammer.
Army Hammer.
oh,
what's your
not
final
Army. Oh well. Are we set on super intelligence then?
I
say?
didn't know.
No. I'm just kidding. I'll suffer through it.
Is that out already? Has that come out? Is it? No, I didn't see
I
it.
think
on-
it's
Well-
tomorrow. I think.
What was the first film you started?
He said flight attendant or something.
Mank.
Yeah,
The screen.
Mank, that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, when's
What
Mank
is that
come out?
about?
that's on the 4th of December. Well, I'm sorry. There was 3 questions at once.
What's your favorite color?
Carolina Blue.
My question was, what is it about?
It's
Go ahead, Ryan.
the behind the scenes drama of the screenwriter for Citizen Kane. Simply put.
Okay.
Have you seen Citizen Kane, Alex?
No.
You should put it on the list, sir. Put it on the list.
I know that actually, without you guys
Well-
even saying that.
What's ironic is that the list that you're trying to like watch through is number 1. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
at the
it
top of that
depends
list.
on, like, because I Google searched the same thing, greatest movies, and just kind of clicked on the first thing. And most that and like Godfather, kind of are interchangeable between like 1, 2, and 3 with whatever else is out there.
Casablanca.
Probably, yeah, depending on what list you look at. But I know. So I guess that's not the right movie for me right now, Meg, having not watched Citizen Kane.
What you could do is watch Citizen Kane.
How long is that?
Doesn't matter.
It's. I think it's pretty lengthy, actually. I think it's at least 2 hours.
Oh, man.
I think
gonna
it's
go start
only. I don't think it's too long though. I don't think it's
No.
more than like 2 hours.
I mean, if I'm going to hold myself to a standard of watching quality films, regardless, I'm going to have to sit and watch and enjoy it. Is that on any streaming thing?
Citizen Kane is actually on HBO Max.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Because I did scroll past that, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
It's like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
So, Alex, there's a lot of old movies, and there's a lot of old movies that are the greatest movies of all time, and there's a lot of old movies that feel like the greatest movies of all time, but you can watch them once and say you've seen it. I don't think Orson Welles has ever felt like that. Citizen Kane is fantastic. I do highly recommend it. Like,
Now I'm going to be put on the spot next week. I mean, we're not even going to go into the news. We're just going to go, all right, Alex, don't make us hate you. What did you think?
Book report.
I mean, like
I got to
the
build
guy-
a diorama.
You feel the quality, the pioneering quality in the movie. The guy's like, can we get a low angle? And the people are like, what's that? And he's like, cut a hole in the floor and drop the camera through it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at some point, I know I'm going to be watching, because I meant to do it this last week, but things got in the way of it. I was going to plus it's kind of a tall order watching all 3 Godfathers, as soon as you can, right next to each other, like back to back to back. Quite a tall task. So I'm going to try and find some time to do that and Citizen Kane and what was there was something else on the top 10 that I was trying to watch, but
Casablanca.
yeah, I mean, I've seen enough of the the major scenes in that where I think I get the story, but I'll probably still end up watching it.
No, you need to watch it. Sorry.
I know. Watch me just turn around and be like, okay, guys, if I have to watch all these, you have to play all these games, man. You got to play Last of Us 2. You got to play.
Well, if they're only 2 hours, if they're only 2 hours long, we'll knock them out, man.
Boom.
It's like, okay, if I register like 10 whatever movies, it's like, all right, guys, every one of you's got to play
one game for 10 movies.
Yeah.
On story mode.
I know that's the name of the that should be the name of the channel. What Alex learned this week.
And that's at least a segment, man.
Yeah,
what
man.
Alex learned this week.
I know I'm going to regret saying this, but Alex, you really don't need to see Citizen Kane to actually watch Mank, because it's.
Well, I mean,
it's more of the behind the scenes stuff that happened.
I think for the sake of film watching, I probably should.
But I think the question is, do you know anything about Citizen Kane, Alex? Do you know what the term rosebud is?
From the movie, is it? I don't know what the movie is. It's from.
Okay.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. Is that really where it's from? I thought it was from another movie.
No, it's from Citizen Kane. All right. If you don't know
that.
If you don't know what that is, or that it's just from, you need to watch Citizen Kane first. Okay. Just I think because I feel like Mank will probably go into the plot a lot more. So it'd be better to watch the movie first.
You're right.
Yeah, probably once.
Scratch what I said.
Once we have Thanksgiving dinner, at 12:30, and then after the football games are over, I'll probably find myself watching something. So.
Or you just go to your family and you're like, "Hey guys, I want to start a new tradition where we sit around and watch Citizen Kane after we eat."
I guess according to you guys, there could be worse traditions, so maybe. But I will make it a point to watch that, and I'll tell you all my riveting thoughts of it next week. So that's my review this week. Citizen Kane. Nothing that ever. No. So I'll do Citizen Kane, and then you guys can. We should do it that way. I'll do that, and you guys do the other movie, and spoil it away from me. I don't care. If you guys are going to do Super Intelligent.
I was going to say, I can probably tackle at least one of the others. What's the other one? Uncle Tom? Was that it?
Uncle Frank?
Uncle Frank.
Uncle Frank, whatever.
Uncle Tom.
Uncle something. Uncle something.
What podcast are we on right now?
There's a 2020 movie called Uncle Tom.
Nice.
Uncle Frank. Oh, I don't want to watch this. This is so boring.
It is a dramedy. It's a Alan Ball film. So if you liked, what was it?
Oh.
Dude, remember when you guys were talking to me about Gem and the holograms? Stop. Never mind.
I will. I'll take Uncle Tom. Uncle Frank.
Tom.
Uncle Jimmy.
Matt, you want to tackle Super Intelligence?
Oh, I'm tagging. I'll probably watch all of it, man. So
yeah. All right. I'll probably do Flight Attendant then.
Oh, I would. I thought about this earlier, and I didn't. I did actually watch a movie this week that I forgot about. That was kind of important. I finally watched Bill and Ted Face the Music. I don't know. I know Ryan has seen that. I don't know if you two guys have seen it. It's a perfect homage to the first two movies. It's not a great film by any means, but it's fun. And like I said, it references both films, and it's good. And I think it's a good. It's dumb, but it's fun to watch, and it's it's good. It's Bill and Ted, and like I said, it's a perfect homage to the first two movies. So, yep.
Hey,
cool. Well, thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have anything else?
I got nothing.
I'm going to try to get to The Croods 2 if I can ever build up the motivation to go see The Croods 2.
Have you seen, or you might be lost if you haven't seen The Croods 1.
I have not seen The Croods 1, so I'd have to see 1 and 2. Thus my lack of motivation.
Wait, I was reading, and this is kind of not on topic, but Wonder Woman's coming out on Christmas, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
Soul also coming out on Christmas?
On
Yes.
Disney Plus. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. People are going to be watching movies all Christmas Day. No one's going out.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I said that like December is going to be very busy and like we're not going to be able to get to all of it, and that's why I kind of like thought like maybe we could start splitting these up.
Yeah.
I think on the 4th, I think like it should be Mank. It's going to be an Oscar kind of contender, but like that Chadwick Boseman movie comes out, Wonder Woman comes out. Like I was looking through like a lot of lists of stuff that was coming out in December, and there's a lot of stuff that's coming out. Not only on Netflix, but like Hulu and Disney and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going to be busy this month.
Oof.
Yay! Plus, we'll probably talk an hour about Mandalorian.
There you go. And Mando time. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll see you guys later.